Let's take a trip down memory lane. Jason, skipperoo. It's a red lane. It's focused on Manchester United and their list of flops. So I want to throw to this list, courtesy of, as it comes up, themastermindsite.com. So Reece Desmond, wow, he's got this list and created it. So there's a few beauties in there, right? But some of which I will need to refresh the memory of our recent viewers in terms of those who maybe don't remember as much. Eric Jemba, who I don't think necessarily was that bad.
He has two last
names. Of a player. He was Jemba. So at the top, we've got Jemba, we've got Juan Sebastian Veron, who, of course, as everyone knew, signed with Chelsea, and the big money signing when Chelsea came into their wealth and went on to continue his career and never really hit the heights and crack the English Premier League at Manchester United. Memphis Depay of recent. Wilfried Zaha, who's now playing his trade at Crystal Palace. Hannibal Falcao, who may just be my number one. Who knows? Massimo Taibi, and then Possible Fangzuo, and then at the bottom, Pepe. Jason,
why is Pepe number one?
I feel like this list is very, very, very subjective.
Which is fine.
Which is great. I mean, I'm all for opinions. It just wouldn't be necessarily mine. Like when I think
so if you had to reorder, I guess.
So when I think of flops, right, I think of someone who's coming in with an enormous amount of expectation.
Right.
You are the player that's coming in to change the face of Manchester United.
Falcao is one of those people.
Falcao is undoubtedly one of these people, right? So Falcao, to give you a brief reminder of his history, he was probably at his best as he came over from Porto and played his trade, took over La Liga, was phenomenal. In retrospect to other strikers, he's a very small striker, but was able to get up there and win headers, strong, sturdy, great finishing ability, jump out the building.
I love watching when Falcao would get his legs completely off the ground and go up. I was like, oh my God, the guy's like a 44-inch vertical.
Salmon out the wall.
Salmon out the wall.
And then at Monaco,
that's salmon out the wall. I like that.
And at Monaco, he suffered some injuries, but was still a good player, still a great asset. And when he came to Manchester United, he was just expected. Everything that was great about his game fit seamlessly into the Premier League. Physicality, knack for goal. We see some of these players that come in with a huge amount of expectation. Like it reminded me almost of the Andrei Shevchenko transfer to Chelsea, where they just never really got to grips with things. But it wasn't just that he never got to grips with goals, right? Because he's always going to be quantifiable. He's a striker, he needs to score goals. His first touch was all over the gaff. All over the gaff. His movement was awful. His confidence was shot. And he just never really did anything worth mentioning.
Confidence is a trend in...
It's huge.
Some players, if they have the right support system, maybe the right manager, maybe somebody just feeding them those lines of, you're great.
Yeah.
Just keep doing you.
It does.
It helps a ton. I think Diego Costa is one of those guys. But
oh, yeah, no doubt.
But then some players, I think that's what transcends some good players to be great players. Yeah. They don't need the reassurance. Geico reassurance.
Yeah, some players don't. Some players can thrive off of it. I think Falcao was definitely a confidence player, and I don't think Louis van Gaal helped with his confidence getting back to where it was. But he came in the same year as Di Maria, right? And Di Maria is considered a flop by a lot of people. I thought he had a great start to his Manchester United career, never really pushed forward after that, but I wouldn't consider him anywhere near as much a flop as Hannibal Falcao. In Memphis Depay, I feel a little bit bad for, so I don't feel like he's had enough chances in order to try and prove himself. But the chances that he has been given, there was points last year where he had a great game, a great moment. But I just feel like he was one of those players that he fit into a Manchester United team a few years back. He wouldn't fit into this team. You need hard work. You need simple. You need simple work rate, great ability to change the game, but also to play amongst a system. He was almost, in a way, Cristiano Ronaldo, when he first came into Manchester United, tried a lot of those things, tried the tricks, tried the ins and outs, and tried to be great, and he wasn't great. He had to be worked upon. He had to be matured. Alex Ferguson had him go one-on-one against Gary Neville every single training practice because he was like, if you could beat Gary Neville, you can beat any of the defenders in the Premier League, and it helped in maturing him. Depay was fighting a losing battle because he had Louis van Gaal and also
the reason this comes up is because Depay is... It's been a year with Depay?
This will be his second season, yeah.
Second season with Depay, and the reason this comes up is, well, Depay is going to be on a list of biggest Man U flops, whether it be number 5 on that list, number 9 on the list. He's made the list.
Yeah.
Why? Why didn't Depay work? Is that too open-ended of a question?
It will just allow me to further from the point of what I said, is that
Tell me.
he's all bark, no bite, right? He gives a lot, he looks flashy, he looks the part, but you need an end product in the Premier League. You need to add that end product. Like, Ronaldo had God-given talent. But when people like Zlatan will say, like, oh, he had to work on that talent, yeah, because a lot of these players often will rely solely on their talent and won't strengthen those weaker parts of the game. And that's what separates good players from world-class top 5 players in the world.
Love that you made that point.
And I think that Ronaldo worked on it.
You know what's so funny about the word? I think talent and potential are like synonymous.
Yeah.
Not actually by the Oxford Dictionary. What I mean by that is, how many times have you heard this? Well, that player or this player has the potential to be the greatest of all time because of their talent.
Yeah. So
right?
much so.
They go hand in hand with each other. I never like the word potential. And I say that because potentially, anybody sitting in this room could be the greatest at all time at whatever position they want to be at life. You can be the greatest host of all time. Irma's chilling on the couch over there, and she could be the greatest director of all time. Everyone has the potential to be the greatest director of all time. It's a matter of what you do with that potential. Talent is very similar. Colin Coward was just saying this about all sports. He's like, I could name 100 guys with talent. Talent? You kidding? Talent? It's easy to find talent. It's not hard. It's hard to turn that into something. Depay also came to United as part of Louis van Gaal, right? Who's Netherlands manager. I have a wild statistic for you. Are you ready for this? I don't think you're prepared. Through their first 18 months, Van Gaal and Jurgen Klopp
Well,
had the same winning percentage.
Yeah, I think
50.6.
I think Van Gaal's was 50.8 actually.
Was it better?
I think it was a little bit better than Jurgen Klopp's, and that was where it was. So that is a good statistic.
That's a crazy. I think that's crazy. I don't know why. I
Klopp
thought Klopp was doing so much better, and I used to rip on. I still rip on the guy. Crazy. I don't know. I really want Van Gaal to just do press conference.
There is some substance to it. Like Jurgen Klopp took over from a team that necessarily wasn't his doing. I think if you were to compare the winning statistics of Jurgen Klopp this season to Louis van Gaal when he had control of his team, they wouldn't really be as close. But stats are stats. Can't argue with stats, right?
Any other guys? Is there anybody that they missed that you remember?
No, I mean, it's such
There's
a long
too many
time.
players.
There's so many players that played with Manchester United.
Wayne Rooney.
No, never. But Wilfried Zaha on that list, I don't actually think that Wilfried Zaha was that. Again, he was a young player, didn't exactly mature. Like it's the same way like Paul Pogba was seen as an unfit talent, wasn't able to be worked with in the way that Manchester United wanted. It's all managerial preference. And Alex Ferguson didn't see Pogba to hit that potential, so he sold him off. And now Manchester United bought him back for 100 million. So would you say that Alex Ferguson's a flop because he didn't see the potential in Pogba? No, just some people don't see these players as assets as what they are.
Like Ferguson's a flop.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never been said.
Wilfried Zaha just wasn't, again, another player that had a lot of potential that United couldn't make the most out of, and he's went on to a fine career at Crystal Palace. He has ability. He has the ability to change games. So I think there was a lot of players on this list that are just kind of chosen at face value. I think that Falcao has some substance to him. I think Depay, it's a little unfortunate to consider. Like, flops are players that come in with an enormous amount of expectancy, maybe a big transfer fee, and just never really were able to assimilate.
Are you able to make up for what you collect? Is your value actually becoming that of worth to the team?
And then on that point about the value, when you look at someone like Pepe, he came in for what, 7 million or something like that, and he was there for 4 years and never did anything. So yeah, he was given a period of time to try and impress, but I just don't consider him and Wilfried Zaha in a similar vein, because I think Wilfried Zaha was bought for more, like 15 million, but he's went on to do other things at other teams and proven himself to be an asset to some team in the Premier League. And that's why like Juan Seba Veron's another one who has proven himself throughout the world, but never really proved himself at Manchester United. So he's probably deserving of a place, at least in the top 10. I think his value was like, back then it was like 30 million nearly. And back then, Jason, that was Paul Pogba-esque of a fee. I think he was one of their most expensive signings for years. So there's a lot of players to consider. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Who's the biggest flop Manchester United has bought? I mean, I think this is let's just say in relatively recent history. But we're not going back. I'm not going, oh,
I wanted to do this because Depay.
It's recent. Yeah, there's some recent players there.
Depay has been of conversation recently, so that's why I think the mastermind did it.
Yeah, the mastermind.